Alrighty, greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? All right, some people made it in here. That's good. That's good. I know it's an odd time of the day, but we're all here. We're going to be here. We're all going to be here. That's what I meant to say. I didn't mean to say we're all here yet, but mostly we're here. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, Callin, and on Twitter. It's about all the spaces I can manage. Maybe I'll start going to Rumble again. It's just that, I don't know. I'm just not all that excited about it. It wasn't all that exciting when I was there. But I'm actually slightly excited about being live on Twitter. Still. I don't know why. I think it's actually gaining a little visibility for me, so I guess that's why. Anyways, you guys are awesome. Everybody's coming into the chat. That's great. Excuse me. And let's proceed and continue. And let's kind of starting off where we left off yesterday. We were talking about whether there was an actual ground invasion or not, or they haven't really announced one. Like, there's no official, but there is kind of one going on. And so just want to talk about the story of the cutting off of communication in Gaza. Because it seems that they really are just trying to obfuscate as much as possible what is going on there and what, seems they, I don't know why my background looks like that. Why does my background look like that? That's weird. Hold on 1 second. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Oh, that's it. Okay, here we go. Fixed. They're just trying to keep as much as possible people from seeing. They're not really doing a very good job, of course. Because man, oh man, are we seeing a lot of horrible things coming out of Gaza. But this is from Al Jazeera. Gaza suffers another communications blackout amid Israeli bombardment. Phone and internet services cut, despite warnings that communications blackouts exacerbate the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. This is from November 1st. Israel has cut Gaza's telecommunication and internet for humanitarian aid agencies, warning that such blackouts severely disrupt their work in an already dire situation in the war-torn Palestinian enclave, which may be why what had led Elon Musk to offer up the Starlink services. Which I actually, somebody has said that that's not to trust that offer up of the Starlink, and so I don't know who to believe. It certainly sounds like a humanitarian thing for him to do. So if he is offering it and if it's helping people, I would say that's a good thing. I know I have plenty of disdain for Elon Musk, but sometimes he has the right intentions, I think. or he's playing at the right intentions. Either way, maybe that's helpful. Telecom provider Paltel reported a complete disruption of communications and internet services in Gaza on Wednesday morning. The disruption comes after Israel imposed a near complete communications blackout on Gaza from Friday to Sunday that lasted close to 36 hours. That was the original blackout. Al Jazeera's Hani Mahmoud, providing sporadic updates via satellite from Khan Yunis, southern Gaza, said on Wednesday that the blackout sent waves of concern and fear among people and evacuees in the southern part of Gaza who still have family members remaining in the northern part and Gaza City. This blackout is very tragic for people here and an indication that something serious is going on, he reported. The lack of communication only intensifies people's concerns about what's going to happen to the relatives and loved ones. The blackout also puts the work of humanitarian agencies that try to help people on the ground in jeopardy as they lose contact with their team members. Things are becoming, just right now, becoming very difficult. I'm in jest, I say that. In a statement, the Palestinian Ministry of Communications appealed to neighboring Egypt to operate communication stations near the Gaza border and activate roaming services on Egyptian networks, stressing that critical humanitarian situation that cannot bear the loss of communication for any longer. Israel used the previous shutdown to cover potential war crimes as they started their ground invasion, said Marwa Fatafta, the Middle East and North African Policy and Advocacy Manager of Access Now, a global human rights organization. Israel is using internet blackouts as a warfare tactic to induce more pain on the population, Fatafta told Al Jazeera. And let's watch a little of this, I guess. If we come in.
Phone lines and internet services have once again been cut right across the Gaza Strip. That's according to the telecommunications company Paltel. Simultaneously, in the occupied West Bank, the Jenin refugee camp has also had its electricity shut off. And there are reports of disruptions to internet and phone services. Let's get the latest with Bernard Smith, who's in Ramallah for us. Bernard, when phone lines were cut last Friday night in Gaza, it signaled the beginning of Israel's ground incursion into Israel. Do you have any more updates on what's caused services to go down this time?
Paltel is the major internet and cellular provider in the Palestinian territories. It says that services went down about an hour and a half ago, 3:30 in the morning local time, 5 o'clock now, and those services are still down. And we know only that the last time that happened, it was the start of a major Israeli operation in Gaza. We have no more details on what's happening at the moment from Gaza because those communications have been cut.
Well, given communications are down, it's going to be quite interesting because we're hearing reports that this list of more than 500 foreigners and dual nationals head to the Rafah crossing. Given that it's hard to communicate, will they be able to receive the information that they need to go there? What more do we know?
We know that the Gaza Crossing Authority published a list earlier of some 500 or so foreign nationals or dual passport holders that are in the Gaza Strip and told them they should go to the Rafah crossing for 7 a.m. Yes, given that the communications were cut an hour and a half ago, it's possible that not everybody has received that message, although we know that many of the foreign passport holders, foreign nationals, are in the Rafah vicinity because they've been down there since the start of Israel's bombing campaign in Gaza. They've been down there, most of them since the start, on the hope and expectation that they will get out. Whether they're going to be allowed out at the same time as these 81 injured Palestinians who are going to be treated in hospitals in Egypt, we're not sure of the logistics or how it'll work out yet.
All right. So, yeah, it makes it hard to know exactly what's going on. It makes it hard for people to get the information they might need to go where they need to go in order to not be not be impacted, shall we say, by the war. Here's another just I don't know how much it just gets worse, weirder, more disgusting by the day. Biden is now asking for arms deals with Israel to be completely secret with no oversight by Congress or the American people. Not only is this the fascism playbook, but any power the president gets, he never gives back. A la mass surveillance or holding people in Gitmo with no charges, or habeas corpus, or doesn't ever seem to go the other way, right? The power of the executive office is never willingly given up. Like, oh yeah, I've overstepped my reach. Let me walk that back and act within the law. But I did pull up the article that he's referring to, and let's take a gander at this, shall we? Biden wants arms deals with Israel to be done in complete secrecy. I've never seen anything like it, said Josh Paul. He is the former State Department official who resigned in disgust. This was just a few weeks ago. In a highly unusual move, the White House has requested for it to be able to conduct arms deals with Israel in complete secrecy, without oversight from Congress or the public, in a time when the U.S. is supporting a military that experts say has been committing war crimes in Gaza and beyond. The White House made the request within a $106 billion supplemental defense funding request. What is the actual war budget now? What's the actual military budget now? Is it? I've lost count. And people, it's kind of like how warm is it actually on Earth? There's varying opinions on that, depending on which way you want to look at it. Some people say the military budget is $850 billion. And other people will tell you, no, it's $2 trillion. But I guess officially it's $850 billion. So if you want to add $106 billion on top of that, that's real close to $1 trillion. But we're not even counting how many billions of dollars have already been sent this year to Ukraine. Has anybody counted that up? I think it's somewhere in the $100 billion range already. And did somebody acknowledge, did the Congress acknowledge that or approve that? Or was that, they just said, here you go. Here's, was there any kind of process in order, to make sure this is what we want to do, or is this going in the right place? I mean, it just seems to be rubber stamped. So we're definitely topping $1 trillion right now, for sure. On the official side, on the who's counting side. Or what you might be able to count in like the mainstream media, I guess. As reported by Women for Weapons Trade Transparency, for in these times, the White House is asking for up to $3.5 billion in military funding for Israel to be able to purchase weapons and other equipment. From us, I think. I mean, that's a funny way to put that, don't you think? We want to give them money to buy weapons. Of course, we'll probably be supplying those weapons, so It's a win-win, right? Crucially, such notifications to Congress are also logged in the Federal Register. So they want to approve. They want to send $3.5 billion in military funding to Israel from sources like the U.S. military or U.S. defense contractors without. They say they're going to purchase weapons and other equipment from sources like the U.S. military or U.S. defense contractors. So, no lie detected, without the spending having to be approved by or even disclosed to Congress. Crucially, such notifications to Congress are also logged in the Federal Register, where they are viewable to the public, but the White House is trying to get rid of that transparency for Israel for funding through September 2025 and potentially beyond if Israel chooses to set aside funding before then. Okay. Experts have said that the move is alarming and rare. I've never seen anything like it. Josh Paul, the former director of Congressional and Public Affairs for the Bureau of Political Military Affairs in the State Department, told In These Times, within the State Department, where he worked for 11 years, Paul helped the Bureau in its work on arms deals and resigned in protest of a push to increase arms sales to Israel amid its genocidal siege on Gaza. A proposal in a legislative request to Congress to waive congressional notification entirely for foreign military financing, funded foreign military sales, or direct commercial contracts is unprecedented in my experience, Paul said. Frankly, it's an insult to congressional oversight prerogatives. Paul added that the White House is already allowed to unilaterally approve foreign military transactions in emergency situations, emergency, but still has to notify Congress. The move then seems calculated to specifically create opacity around Israel sales. This doesn't actually reduce the time, it just reduces the oversight, he said. The request comes as the Biden administration has sought to crush dissent on its support of Israel, even within its own ranks. A new report by HuffPost published Thursday found that Biden officials are sidelining work within the State Department on the atrocities that Israel is committing in Gaza, seeking to seemingly cover up the issue and disallow employees from speaking up against the genocide. Citing Paul and 5 workers within the agency, the outlet reported that State Department staff have been told by higher-ups that they are not going to be able to move the needle on the executive branch's approach to Israel, no matter their credentials or the horrific things they report coming out of Gaza. There you go. And to kind of further cement this idea that they really don't want, they don't want to be held accountable whatsoever. They don't want to be pushed back against. They don't want to be debated or dissuaded from what they're setting out to do. This from CNN. My gosh, we have liberal media, liberal media kind of just openly attacking the Biden administration's position on this. I just played Joy-Ann Reid yesterday, literally calling out the Biden administration for war crimes. I mean, it's a crazy mixed up world, and it seems like expect the unexpected, I guess. But Biden isn't upset that he and Israeli occupation forces are slaughtering thousands of Palestinian children. He's upset the pictures of the dead children getting out is bad PR. Hence the communications blackout, perhaps. Of course it's bad for PR. Showing people the actual consequences of war is bad for your war PR. That is a known. Biden isn't upset that he and his, I read that, so I won't read it again, but let's listen to this. Very, very short.
Support away from its war. Sources say that President Biden and his administration are all warning Israel that it has weeks, not months, to uproot Hamas from Gaza, and that every image of a dead Palestinian child is tipping public support away from its war. Sources say that President Biden and his administration.
It's interesting. There's a timeline, guys. So you're gonna have to get in there and do all the destruction you can, while nobody's, while people aren't paying attention too much, which is absolutely ridiculous. And one more on this, and we're going to move on to another topic of discussion. Let's see. Missed the entire. Here we go. Oh, no, that didn't do it either. Okay, one of these days, I'm going to get this. Cracking. Come on. And this is from Holding Biden Accountable. Someday, maybe when Biden is dead, the accomplices to genocide in his administration will try to excuse the legacy they're cementing firmly on the wrong side of history. They'll claim they didn't really know what was going on at the time. They won't get away with it. They know. And this is from, again, why am I forgetting? I just read his name and I'm forgetting his name already. Josh Paul. It's from the HuffPost. Over the past few weeks, as I've heard from numerous officials across both the executive and legislative branches, it has become clear to me that many senior leaders not only fully understand how Israel is currently using U.S.-provided arms in Gaza, but are even behind closed doors willing to acknowledge that these actions include war crimes. They're just doing it right out in the open. And they care not. Apparently what you have to say about it or your concerns. Hello, people of Rockfin. How you doing? Oh, sorry, I'm kicking my studio into bits. All right, thanks for hanging out on Rockfin, guys. You are awesome. Just checking out some chats, that's all. See some people are watching on Twitter. Thank you all for watching on Twitter. Thanks for sharing. If you like this channel or like these videos, share away. I'm going to switch over to some news about what's happening on planet Earth as far as like the condition of the Earth. But before that, real quick, public service announcement. If you like this show, if you appreciate the show, if you like it being here every day, you can support the show. You can support it in many ways. You can like all the videos, like the videos that you're watching, share them, retweet them, whatever, repost them at your leisure or at your peril, whatever you want, however you want to put it. You can also donate to the cause and keep this thing going. And you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/BlackBearNews, Cash App at Red Llama Music, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, PayPal.me/Kevin Sandbloom, and you can Zelle me at KevinSandbloom@ProtonMail.com. All right. Oh, word? Global Solidarity. I heard Kevin's music on Extra Bulla. Nice. Cool. That's great to know. All right. This is a good post from Matthew Todd. And I fully agree with these sentiments. And he's correct. Lots of people I speak to think there's divisions among scientists about whether current climate change is man-made. There is not. Not serious scientists. When in fact the real division among scientists is now whether we can survive or not.
We built pretty sure.
We'll go back to the beginning here.
If we carry on the way we're going, I can't see this civilization lasting the end of this century. No chance, in my view, on the current trajectory.
If we get it wrong, so if we do the wrong things, then I think there's a very, very big risk that we will just end our civilization. The human species will survive somehow, but we will destroy almost everything we built up over the last 2,000 years. I'm pretty sure.
It's just so, the path we're on is just so dark. It's so bleak. You know, I see tropics that's uninhabitable by humans because it's too hot. It's too humid and hot that our bodies couldn't even survive there. And I see, potentially hundreds of millions of people needing to leave that region and go to cooler areas. And that's just the beginning.
We are, without exaggeration, facing a trajectory and impacts that will obliterate the possibility of human civilization within, by the year 2100. And that is not an exaggeration. And the fact that that is not widely known, that the stakes are so extraordinarily high, I think is something that really should cause a lot of people to, from media to scientists to hang their heads in real shame and real horror.
Recent history supports the view from the IEA, the International Energy Agency, that the CO2 trend is perfectly in line with a temperature increase of 6 degrees Celsius, which would have devastating consequences for the planet.
These tipping points have the possibility. They certainly put forward the risk of a cascade that could take the climate, the Earth system, out of our control into conditions that would be an existential threat to us. Well, if that isn't a emergency situation, I don't know what is.
Everybody on the planet now needs to be galvanized to tackling climate change because it is by far the most important and biggest emergency that mankind has ever faced.
Yeah, nobody's. It's not, climate change is not COVID. It's not vaccines. It's not the same thing. Sorry to burst that bubble for people. Nobody is seriously debating on whether climate change is happening or not. Nobody. Nobody. Because the data and the evidence that the naysayers bring to the table is just so paltry and so horrible and so bad and so ridiculous. You just don't have real debates between climate scientists and people that say it's not happening because there's no data and evidence on the side that it's not happening. Not real evidence. And I'm one of those people that would like to see it. If somebody had some compelling evidence that climate change wasn't happening, I would be the first in line to go, let me check that out. Because I would love to believe that it's not happening. The debate is, or not the debate, there's no debate, but the fight is over how bad is it. That's the fight. And that fight is basically a division between people who might be optimistic to the point of delusion that we can still control it, that we can still get away with what we're doing, that we can just optimize ourselves out of a crisis. This, the debate is between those people and the people who are a little more, able to grasp reality without, without fear of what that reality, the real indications look like, So, good post from Matthew Todd. These are crazy waves. In Italy. And they are crazy. These look rather scary. I don't know why these people, I don't know that I would be standing here going like, hey, look at that giant wave about to come overtake me. Like, I would be absolutely mortified by this. These are waves on the Italian coast. Breakers, huge breakers, like that. People in Hawaii would be like, wow, that's a big wave. Oh, can you see these? Sorry. Am I showing these or am I just being ridiculous? Here, why don't I show the wave that I was just talking about? Here we go. Hello. Can we play this? Shoot. Oh no. Frozen. Am I frozen? No. Just just this post is frozen. Hold on. Let's see if I can get this playing again. Here we go. That's nuts. That is nuts. Wow. I probably might not be one of those people hanging out right there. And looks like everybody's like, maybe it's time to move along. European record for heat in November. We seem to be smashing all the records this year. Historic, over 35 degrees in Europe in November. Never happened before in climatic history. 35.1 reached at Lassithi, Crete Island in Greece. And that is a European November record. Along with all the other many things happening in Europe right now, they seem to be getting a lot of the brunt of climate weirding, I guess you might want to call it. Climate crazing. Let's see. William sent me this. In North Carolina, 8-mile section of the Blue Ridge Parkway near Asheville, North Carolina, temporarily closed due to human and bear interactions. Stop interacting with the bears. After multiple documented reports of visitors feeding and attempting to hold a young bear in recent weeks at the Lane Pinnacle Overlook Blue Ridge Parkway, officials are closing a portion of the scenic route from milepost 367.6 near the Craggy Gardens picnic area to milepost 375.6 at Ox Creek Road. The section will close Monday, October 30th until further notice. Don't feed the bears. Didn't you ever watch Yogi Bear? They might like a nice little picnic basket. Don't touch the bears. Don't play with the bears. Leave the bears alone. Fall is a critical time of year for bears. Between September and November, bears may forage for food up to 20 hours a day as they attempt to put on weight for the winter and hibernation. During this time, bears actively seek out natural foods, but will also take advantage of human foods when presented with the opportunity. Park staff want to remind park visitors and neighbors to keep food out of sight and follow all bear safety tips. Do not feed bears. Our food might be bad for us, but it's really bad for bears. Don't feed bears. Let's see. Steve Austin put together a nice. This is what we need more of, is like supercuts or threads on all the extreme weather events. He put together a thread of rain bombs over the last 48 hours. This is the first one is in West Sumatra. Sorry, just my computer is being real slow right now. This is in Florence, Italy. I think we saw this one. Big enough to move cars. Push several cars. France got in there too. Can you all see these? Am I showing you these? Yes, I am. Okay. This is in France. This is in Mombasa, Kenya. Whoop. Didn't want to do that. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let's go back. This is in Brazil. I think we saw this one. It's an amazing amount of extreme weather in one 48-hour period. But the thing that's even more amazing about this is this has been every single week for the last, I don't know, several months that I can think of. At least since the beginning of the summer. I'm just seeing just flood after flood after flood after flood. I can't actually count back how far back this has been going on. So this isn't just, this is an incredible 8 hours of weather. No, this is just the last 48 hours, but the previous 48 hours and the previous 48 hours before that and the previous 48 hours before that. We're just seeing this over and over and over. This doesn't even include Acapulco or Puerto Vallarta. This is in Italy. This is in Guadalajara. I think we saw this one.
Murió. Ya no avanza ese carro otra vez.
This is in Omar. This is in County Downs, or County Down. We saw this one. This is in Milan, Italy. This is in Saudi Arabia. Good job, Steve Austin, putting it together. Yeah, I think it would probably be a good time investment for me to just supercut all these floods together into like a couple of minutes. I mean, it's literally every day. Judy Truitt said Costa Rica, Nicaragua were both getting some kind of cyclone weather. Okay. Huh. Yeah, amazing. And then lastly, we're going to end with this. Poppy sent me this days ago about the plasticine. Oh, you know what? You know why my computer's working so slow. Ah, that makes sense. Sorry, I've had a long day, y'all. I've been up since 4. And I was up at 4 yesterday. And I'm going to get up at 4 tomorrow. Scientists make concerning discovery deep inside cave that's been closed off for decades. What do they discover? Cave explorers have sought many things, from treasure to mineral veins. To mummies. One group of cave explorers, however, went searching for something much less exciting and potentially far more toxic: microplastics. What happened? A recent article in Vice reports that the expedition team of scientists led by Elizabeth Hassenmuller, Associate Director of the Water Access Technology Environment and Resources Institute at St. Louis University, found high levels of plastic pollution in a Missouri cave system that has been closed to the public for 30 years. Jesus. Oh, that's not good news. They do have some pretty amazing caves in Missouri. Cliff Cave, a system of passageways near St. Louis, has been closed to the public for safety and conservation reasons since a fatal flash flood in 1993, per a university report. To explore the system, Hassenmuller and her colleagues were given special permits to extract samples of its water and sediments during day trips in May 2019 and April 2022, according to Vice. They took samples every 82 feet until they reached as far as they could, about 590 feet from the entrance. They discovered anthropogenic, human-sourced microplastics, tiny plastic particles less than 5 millimeters long at every site they sampled. We found anthropogenic microparticles in all samples that were mainly fibers, 91%, and clear, 59%, the team wrote in its study published in Science Direct. Quantities in sediment were 100 times those in water. These findings indicate that sediment sequesters anthropogenic microparticle pollution in the cave. Microplastic concentrations were similar among all sediment samples, but only one water sample at the main entrance contained microplastics. Why is this cave finding concerning? The team's discovery suggests that many underground systems like this are likely contaminated by human pollution, even in the absence of humans. Tell me again, or assume again, that climate change is only about CO2. That planetary destruction is only about emissions. And I'll tell you that you're making the wrong assumption. Because it's not just about oil. And you're not going to just stop oil. I love how that phrase makes it sound like it's so simple. Just stop oil. Just stop oil. And then, you know, all the problems will be solved. That is about, you know, that's about as childish as the Jeff Berardelli, you know, what is climate change? How does it work? For 3-year-olds. Right? Just stop oil. Just stop oil. That's all we need to do. Yeah. Not so much. I mean, yeah, it's should we stop oil? Yes, we should absolutely stop oil, but you have to, you know, think that one through. What does that mean if you just stop oil? What does it mean for like everybody on the planet? You're going to have to get everybody into a particular mindset before you even do the just stopping of the oil. And like that's going to happen anyways. While disturbing, the results aren't surprising as microplastics flood the environment, potentially endangering humans and animals alike. Microplastics have now been found in places as remote as the Arctic air and even in human hearts. It's rather poetic, don't you think? My microplastic heart. Microplastics have permeated nearly every area of the earth. And removing them all will likely be impossible. Scientists are working on ways to remove what they can, but we must also do our part. And then, you know, they gave you the lovely little PSA. Recycle today. I mean, I recycle. It may be totally ridiculous, completely futile, completely filled with hopium and delusion. I still recycle. I don't know. I don't know why. I just do it. Okay. Gene Whitworth says he thinks it's mainly pollution. Climate change? Planetary destruction? Yeah. I think it's all pollution. There's no difference between microplastics or plastics and emissions. And waste tailing. Oh man, I'm gonna have to bring. Osama sent me a really great video about blue asbestos, and I plumb forgot it. I'll find it and bring it tomorrow. Horrible story. Anyways, it's all pollution. All of it. All right. That about does it for me, guys. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And I will see you all tomorrow. I don't know, around the same time, you know, noon, between noon and 1-ish. I'm going to shoot for noon, but I may not make it. So, anyways, hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Everyone, thank you. And until next time, peace.